Welcome back, Divas, to the Triple D YouTube channel. If you're watching this video today on November 14th, I want to let you know that today is World Diabetes Day, and I'm going to be doing a mani in recognition of that day to spread awareness. The color I'm going to be wearing today is called Tom and Friends. This is part of the Julie's Diabetes duo, and all profits from this duo, from all the sales from this duo, will be donated to the American Diabetes Association. I'm going to start off by dipping my thumbnail using my dip base liquid and dipping into Tom and Friends, and in a little while I'm going to talk to you guys more about the Julie's Diabetes duo and why it is very important for us here at Triple D to spread awareness about diabetes. So Tom and Friends has two different flakes and a foil, and you'll see colors that are black, silver, and blue. The black flake is prone to bleeding when it is activated or when the base bond brush come in contact with it. So I'm going to show you in a little bit how to go about protecting your base bond brush and how to work with this foil flake combination. Foils and flakes are very delicate elements that you can find in dip powders. So when you're playing with them, I recommend using your finger and patting them down gently so that they really stick to the dip base bond and absorb into the nail. When it's kind of dry and you're ready to dust it off, use a soft dusting brush. If you use a stiff dusting brush, you're going to really break everything into pieces, and you're going to notice that a lot of it is not going to stick to the nail. So I recommend using a soft dusting brush such as the Triple D Anniversary brush or a fluffy makeup brush. So the black flake is prone to bleeding when a brush comes in contact with it, such as base bond or activator. What I recommend you do is after each application, wipe your base bond brush on a paper towel to get rid of any excess black that might be sticking onto your base bond brush. It's okay if there's still a little bit of black smudging left on the brush when you go to put the brush in your base bond. It dissolves after a certain amount of time and it returns back to normal. But I like that you get rid of as much black as possible off your base bond brush before you return it to your bottle. Foils and flakes are very gentle, delicate, but easy to work with. So after it's settled into the base liquid, use one of your fingers and pat down the foils and flakes into the base bond so that everything becomes really flat. Since the foils and flakes are very delicate, they are prone to being damaged when you file and buff them, so it is very important that you encapsulate this powder in clear dip powder. So Triple D sells a clear dip powder in a 1 ounce size. It is a great option if you don't have a clear dip powder on hand. Definitely pick this up on your next order. But all you have to do is apply base bond over top of the foil flake and then dip in your clear. You're also going to notice while you're applying the base bond brush over the foil flake again, it is still causing the black to bleed. That is normal. Just wipe your brush off in between each application. And I really do think that the black bleeding really helps fill in the clear spots in this dip powder and make the dip all come together and look absolutely beautiful in the end. Once the clear dip powder dries, you can definitely go in and use a stiffer dusting brush to really dust off any excess clear powder before you activate, file, shape, and buff. This powder really comes to life when you apply the activator to it. You can really see all the different shifts of the blue. It's really, really stunning. So while I'm applying this dip powder to the rest of my nails, I want to talk to you a little bit more about this duo. Triple D created Julie's Diabetes duo in honor of our friend Julie and her late husband Tom, who passed away because of diabetes complications. Today is World Diabetes Day, and November is Diabetes Awareness Month. If you want to join us in spreading awareness about diabetes, simply wear a blue manicure anytime this month, and if you post it on social media, use the hashtag #TypeAllDiabetesCollab. If you want to learn more about diabetes, we will have a video linked in the description box below. It's by Dip Nails by Jules. And in the video is part of her Meaningful Manis series, her Awareness Mani series, and she talks about World Diabetes Day and so much more about diabetes. I highly recommend you check out that video. Diabetes awareness is very important to the Triple D team and family. We have several friends among our team who have either been impacted by family members who have diabetes or they have diabetes themselves. There are 3 common types of diabetes: type 1, type 2, and gestational diabetes. It is a chronic disease that occurs when our pancreas does not produce enough insulin or when our body cannot effectively use the insulin. Insulin is a very important hormone in our body because it regulates our blood sugar. Too much blood sugar can cause hyperglycemia, and too much blood sugar over time can lead to serious damage to many of our different systems in our bodies. There currently is not a cure for diabetes. There's only ways to help manage and treat diabetes and live with it. We hope that one day there is a cure to diabetes, and we know that donations such as ours and many others is very important to helping funding research into finding a cure for diabetes. So if you purchased Julie's Diabetes Duo this year or Nico and Friends last year, we want to say thank you so much because you're helping us donate to this cause and trying to find a cure for diabetes. I'll leave a couple links down in the description box below so that you can learn about the different types of diabetes, signs and symptoms, and where you can donate to help support the cause. So back to the manicure. I finished dipping the color on all 5 of my fingers, and I'm going to clear encapsulate the foil and flakes to protect it from filing, shaping, and buffing. If you want to see filing, shaping, and buffing, that is going to come up in a little short bit. As we mentioned earlier, you can use a stiff dusting brush to dust off the clear powder after you encapsulate. We highly recommend using a stiffed brush because if you don't get off all the clear powder after you activate, file, shape, and buff, and then apply your top coat, the clear powder can look like it still has bubbles on your nail if there's too much excess powder still on the nail. So you can see here that my base palm brush still has a little bit of black on it, but once I wipe it on my paper towel, it's practically gone. The base balm bottle will help dissolve any of the excess pigment that may be left on the brush, but wiping it on a paper towel will definitely help get rid of most of it. After the activator has set and hardened the dip powder, I like to file the sidewalls and the free edge first, and then I'll go into buffing the surface of the nail, focusing mostly on the cuticle area and smoothing any imperfections. After filing, shaping, and buffing, it is super important to cleanse the nail with rubbing alcohol to remove it of any dust that may still be on the nail. You do not want to add a top coat with all that dust still on your nail. Once it's cleansed, I add another layer of activator. Since I filed, shaped, and buffed, I brought down how much bulk was on my nail, so it's very important to add more activator to ensure that the dip powder is completely hardened through all of the layers of dip that you added to your nail. Once the activator is practically dry, rub off any excess activator with rubbing alcohol, and then let the rubbing alcohol completely evaporate before you apply a layer of top coat. It is very important that you let the rubbing alcohol evaporate, because if you don't, it can harden your top coat brush. So I try to apply like 3 or 4 strokes to the nail, and then rub off the brush on a paper towel so that no activator gets back into my bottle. And then I give it about 10 or 15 seconds until I start to notice there's some texture and crinkling on the nail, and then I'll apply my second and final coat of top coat. After this is done, I let it dry for about a minute or 2, and then I have a completely gorgeous and polished manicure. So here's my finished manicure using Tom & Friends, all top coated, nice and glossy. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you came and joined us with the Type All Diabetes collab, thank you so much for doing that. And as a reminder, it is Diabetes Awareness Month all month, so if you weren't able to wear the Julie's Diabetes Duo dips on World Diabetes Day, you still have an opportunity to wear it for the rest of the month. Thank you guys so much for your support and for your purchase, because you're helping support a donation to the American Diabetes Association.